In this video, I'm going to show you how to properly use a crowbar to pull nails out. Now, before we start, quick safety briefing. If you're pulling nails out and using a crowbar, you might need to, at some point, hammer the end of the bar, and that can create quite high pitch frequency. It can damage your ears, so it's always important to have ear defenders, not just making this up. Once you start hitting this bar with a hammer, you'll know what I mean, and afterwards, if you're doing a lot of nail pulling, your ears will start to ring. So always invest in a pair of ear defenders. And also, whenever you're removing nails, they can occasionally flick out of the wood, spring up into the air. So always wear a pair of safety goggles. It doesn't matter how good they look or how dusty they are. The main thing is they protect your eyes. I think you can just about see through these. So that's the PP out of the way. The hardest part of removing a nail is often getting it started. I like to use one of these tack lifters. They're mainly designed for lifting thumbtacks, but if you get heavy duty one of these, you can start your nail and then it makes the rest of the process really easy. And then when you come in with your crowbar, all the hard work's been done. So you take your tack lifter, and if the head of the nail is embedded in the wood, simply take your hammer, knock it behind the tack lifter. I always use a scrap piece of wood or a packer just to protect the surface if it's something I want to protect. This is just a test piece. As you can see, it's peppered with holes. Put that under there, and you're just trying to get the head of the nail to pop up so you can get your bar on it. So we've lifted that up. As you can see now, we've exposed the head of the nail, and then we can start to use our crowbar to extract it. So if you look at the design of the crowbar, you can see it's chamfered. You can see there, it's chamfered down, and you've got this V. You want to try and get your nail head as close to the back of this V as possible. So place your bar flat on your piece of wood, slide it in so that it bites into the steel. You don't even need to have your bar always behind the head of the nail. It will actually bite into the steel just by sliding it in. So try and get that nail head as far back into your V-groove as possible. You've also got another option at this side. You've got another nail remover here, same again. Try and get your nail in, give it a little shunt onto there, and get ready to pull it out. If you're a little bit unsure about pulling nails with a crowbar, just get a scrap piece of wood, knock a nail in and test it. If you're pulling them out of a surface you don't want to damage, I always recommend doing a test run. And then your third way, slide the bar in like that, and then you're going to want to lever up to pull the nail out. So I'll show you those three techniques now. We'll start with the best one or the easiest one to get the most amount of leverage on your nail. So take our bar, if it's a particularly stubborn one, you're going for speed, knock that in with a hammer. And then you want to put your protective piece of wood underneath if it's something surface you're trying to protect. And then all you want to do, I'll show you this simply. So we've got our bar in, and this is remarkably stable once you've got your bar behind your head of your nail. The way to apply most leverage to the bar is just to lift it right at the very top. If you do this, it'll give you maximum leverage and your nails spring out with ease. So you want one hand on the top, one hand a bit lower down for a bit more control, and then just lever your left hand back slowly, and you'll see the nail slowly start to come out. And then you can see the steel bites into it, and if you've put your bar in correctly in the first place and tapped it in, put the force that way so the nail head bites in, it's actually quite hard to remove your nail from the bar, and it's not going to flick up and hit you in the eye. So that's one method, using the bar that way. We'll just go through the other two now. A lot of the time it depends where you can get your bar in. If you're working in a tight space and you struggle to get your bar in a certain direction, you can use the different features of this bar to pull your nail out. I've never had a problem with this bar. I think it's called a sumo bar, and I've had it for about 10 years and it just gets the job done. So I'd recommend it, but it's up to you. Any bar will do the job, but this is the one I prefer. Again, use your protective piece or scrap piece of wood, lift your nail out that way. You can always switch, use a multitude of techniques. Do it that way, and then the final way to do it is just to use this little gadget here. It's sort of a bit counterintuitive because it actually levers off this point, so you need your protective packer there, and then you want to lift up the bar upwards, and you can see your nail start to pull out. So I hope that's given you the confidence to try and remove some nails with a crowbar. You really want to team it up with a tack lifter and a claw hammer, and obviously your goggles and ear defenders. If this video taught you something, then drop us a like. If you have another way of using a crowbar to remove some nails, let us know in the comments. It always helps other people out. And if you want to be updated with other helpful tips, then please feel free to subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.